Hello, my single mother tribe. How are you ladies doing? Well, I hope everyone's having a wonderful week so far. We talk about today. Well, I would like to talk about something that seems like it's just been coming at me all week long. And I'm really proud of myself to say, because years ago I can remember that I really had such a problem, or it was so hard for me to, to say no. So I want to talk about, saying no. And I kind of want to give you guys permission, for those of you who may have a hard time saying no, give you permission that it's okay to say no. Years ago, I remember a time in my life that was just absolutely crazy. And I can say that now because when I look back in retrospect, I'm like, I don't know how I survived other than by the grace of God, because I was operating at such a high capacity of busyness and just stress. It was just unbelievable. At that time, I was going to school full time. I began to get heavily involved in ministry, and I was working. And on top of, my children were much smaller than what they are now. And I'm telling you, it seems like I was just constantly on the go. I could remember, especially in school, when I would stay up for 2 days, 2 nights in a row. I mean, 48 hours of no sleep, no rest. That is, talk about craziness. But that was me. That was my life back then. And I did it for several months, probably a year now I think about it, I'm not sure. But and it was just craziness, and I just, for me, that was my norm. That it was normal for me. I didn't know how to slow down. I didn't know how, I felt so uncomfortable when I wasn't doing. And it took literally a serious diagnosis to slow me down. And I was diagnosed with MS. And I had, up until that point, I had dealt with a lot of other illnesses and ailments, and by the grace of God, I walked away, whole and healthy and healed. But for some reason, this diagnosis of MS has really just caught me off guard. And I don't know, maybe because I literally was feeling all the symptoms of it. And I know that MS is such a debilitating and destructive disease. And it really just got my attention. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute, and I just really, I remember during that time, just, going to the Lord in prayer. And I knew without a shadow of a doubt that God was going to heal me. I just knew that because, like I said before, I've dealt with so much in the past with my health that I just knew that it was okay. But I just felt like something else, that it was a reoccurring issue with my health, and that it was something that I wasn't doing, or it was something I was not learning, that I felt like I needed to do. And it come to find out that there were some areas in my life I felt like I needed to change, and a lot of it was my stress. I was not properly managing my stress levels. I was not properly dealing with stress in my life. I was taking on too much stress in my life, and as a result, it began to manifest in my body. And we were not created to handle stress. We were not created to be like robots, just constantly on the go, just continuously going without rest, without proper rest, without relaxation, without, having fun, and just, taking a break. We weren't created to be robots. And so when we don't, when we don't pay attention to our bodies, when we don't take care of our bodies, when we don't give our bodies a proper rest and the things that it needs. And I'm not just talking about eating right, but I'm talking about, we need to rest. As single mothers, we need to rest. Our minds need to rest. Our bodies need to rest. Our spirit need to rest, and we need to just refuel. I've always said that you can't give out of, you can't pour out of an empty cup. And yet we do it constantly. Sometimes we are running on empty, we're running on fumes, and yet we keep going. I don't know what it is. And I'm just talking about myself. I'm such a different person today. But when I think about, the person that I was years ago, when I was, ill and dealing with a lot of health issues, it was like, I felt like, I guess I had to prove something, that I was strong enough, that I was, that I could do it. But now I feel like, I don't have to prove that anymore. I'm very confident in who I am as a woman and as a single mother. And I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I don't have to even prove anything to myself. And I'm okay with saying no. But like I said, it was a process for me. It took a long time for me to get to that point of being confident in who I am, to know that regardless of, what I do, it doesn't, excuse me, excuse me. It took a long time for me to get to a point to realize that, I am who I am, and what I do don't determine the person that I am. Whether I do something or not, it's not going to change who I am. And I had to get comfortable in that. I had to get comfortable in the fact that, it's not about performing. It's not about proving anything to anybody, but it's about, being confident in who I am and knowing my limitations and knowing what I can and cannot do. And it's okay to do that. It's okay to know, what you can and cannot do. Like I said, we are not superwomen. We are not expected to do everything. I know a lot of times it feels like we are literally carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders, and we have to do everything, especially for those of us who, may not have the father involved in the children's life. So we're doing everything. Literally, we're mom and dad. And it seems like we have to do everything, and we have so many responsibilities. But, I had to learn myself that I can do what I can do and not feel guilty what I can't do. And to know, my limitations, know when I'm pushing myself too far, know when I'm stretching myself too thin, and to be able to make the proper adjustments. I didn't want to always have to, my body shut down in order for me to realize, oh, okay, I guess I'm exhausted. I guess I'm tired. I guess I need some rest. We shouldn't have to get to that point to where our bodies are literally, symptoms are manifesting because we've been ignoring our bodies. And I'm talking to myself, get to the point in a place. And like I said, I believe I'm in a better place to where I know when I'm getting to that point. I know when I'm getting to the point, when it's time to kind of just rest, when it's time to relax, when it's time to say no, when it's time to regroup and reset. And I'm not pushing myself beyond the limits anymore, but I'm really in tune with my body, mind, spirit, and soul, and I think it's, three-part because, we are mind, body, and spirit, so it's important that we evaluate ourselves throughout, depending on how rigorous your schedule or your life may be, or how demanding your life may be. Some of us may need to, on a daily basis, refuel. Some of us may need to every other day or once a week, however you go or however you do. But I think it's so important to realize that, and to be able to get to a point in place where you're able to reevaluate that, to evaluate yourself and how you're doing. So like I said, today is just intended to see how you're doing. Check in. Do you feel overwhelmed? Are you exhausted? Are you tired? Do you feel like you may have committed to too many things? And like I said, it's okay to say no. You don't have to feel obligated to do everything. Some things don't, you don't have to do everything, and it's okay to say no. And I always use now as a deciding factor. If I know that something is going to take too much of my time, too much of my energy, too much of my focus, if it's going to be a distraction, because there are good distractions. Not every distraction in our life is bad. There are some things that are good to do, but it's just a distraction because it's taking us away from our family. It's taking us away from, things that we need to be really focused on. Especially now, I find myself really intentional about what I say yes to, because I know what my goals are now. I'm working towards a goal of, I'm building ministry now. I'm building my business now. And so there, and I'm working full time still. So there's a lot of things that, I have to really, my time is precious, more so now than it ever has been. And so I'm really, picky and choosy now about what I decide to spend my time doing, you know. And like I said, it's not always bad. Most of the time it's not bad, but you know, just this week I was asked to do several things, you know, and I'm like, I can't do it. Like, you know, I can't do it. I can't commit to that because I knew that it would take too much out of my time. I knew that it would even, you know, take too much out of me physically. And I need to be in top, you know, optimum shape to be able to do, you know, what I've been called to do here in my home and here outside my home. And like I said, in ministry, you know, it's not about doing all the time, but I think it's like, where are you most effective? I would rather be most effective and have, you know, my plate half full than to have a full plate and not be effective doing anything, you know. So I think we need to look at that. Where am I most effective? You know, and if you're not effective, or, you know, how to say no. If this is going to cause me not to be effective in this area, maybe I need to say no to that. Or, you know, if this is going to take away from me being effective in this area, maybe that's not a good thing for me. Not saying that the doing the thing is not good, but it's not going to, the result is not going to be good. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. So, you know, I just want to encourage you guys, like I said, that if for those of you who feel overwhelmed, I just want to encourage you and to just ask you, you know, do you feel overwhelmed because you may be overcommitted? There may be some things that you need to evaluate and readdress, and just say, you know what, there may be some things you may have to say no to, or some things that you may have to, you know, reevaluate in your life. And that's okay. You know, it's okay. And some of you may be exhausted, and I just want to encourage you to just take time for yourself. You know, I have a routine when I come home from work, and even during my drive, because I commute, and I just try to still my mind, because my job is so demanding, and within a, you know, 8-hour period, I really I encounter some crazy stuff, I'm telling you. And I'm, you know, I have to constantly think and make choices and decisions, and, you know, problem solve and investigate. Sometimes I feel like I'm, you know, a private investigator on my job. And so I'm always thinking and using this brain, and I'm natural by my personality. I'm just a thinker. I think about thinking. So I have to learn, I have to consciously and intentionally put this mind to rest, because if not, my mind would just be constantly going. And I have to just get somewhere quiet and just settle my mind. When I come home from work, you know, my kids like to bombard me a lot because they haven't seen me for almost like 10 hours or so. And so when I get home, they're like, mom, this, that. And I just ask them, like, look, I love you guys, but can you just give me some time to just unwind? Give me some time to just be, you know, my room is my haven. It's my place to just unwind and relax. And like I said, you know, for you guys, it may be different. You guys may, you know, do other things to unwind and relax. But for me, I need quiet time. I need time to where the mind is not thinking, and I'm just quiet, to just be able to refuel. That's how I refuel. I refuel during quiet time and just reflection time, and just, you know, or walking. Oh my gosh. And speaking of walking, I have to get back into walking, but walking, oh my gosh, I can get so lost into walking, because it's like, just, especially if I'm like walking in nature, and I just find that such a relaxing time for me, where I'm not thinking about anything, or I'm just giving my mind time to just rest and relax. So anyway, you know, as I was saying, you know, just right now, I would like for you to take some time, and this is open discussion. So I want you guys to chime in and just let me know, you know, how you're feeling right now. Do you feel like you're kind of depleted and you might need a refueling? And if so, you know, what do you need? What refueled you? You know, do rest, you know, relaxation, quiet time, reading, walking, praying, you know, refuel you? And that's another refuel for me. I get so much strength through prayer, you know. Oh my gosh, it's like my lifeline, I'm telling you. So yeah, but just, you know, like I said, take this time to just evaluate where you are, and to reset. Today is your day to reset. No matter how your week has gone by so far, today is your day to reset. So I just want you to take a deep breath and just reset. You have tomorrow and Friday and Saturday, And I just, I just wish you guys the best, and just, pray that you have a wonderful rest of the week. I look so forward to being with you guys on Self-Care Saturday. So don't forget, Self-Care Saturday. I think I'm going to take you guys on a walk with me. I think it's time for me to do a nature walk. I haven't been walking in a while. I had to take some time off to get my door settled, and been going back and forth to New York and everything. So, but I think I'm going to take you guys on a walk with me on Self-Care Saturday. What you think about it? Oh, and also set your notification to alert you for when I'm live, because I'm going to be live on Self-Care Saturday and Sunday. I'll be posting, and next Wednesday I'll be posting too, okay? And also I noticed that no one's been, introducing themselves. So come on, like I said, we are tribe. We are a community. Say hello to your fellow tribe members. Introduce yourself. I know you, but they may not know you. So if you can just drop your name and how many children you have, how long you've been a single mother, and where you're from. That way we can get to know each other and build this community strong, okay? I really thank you guys for taking the time out to join me tonight, and I look forward to seeing you on Saturday. I leave you with love, peace, and blessings. Bye-bye.